Tsubasa is a lonely loser who can't have a girlfriend in Tokyo like city, just like you guys.
Emotional damage!
So God sent him to live in a rural town to find one girlfriend. There, in his new school, he quickly realizes there are lots of baddies around, and now he decided to become player. So he starts taking out every baddie one by one to create his own harem. After winning the title of most useless guy in the city, Tsubasa had just gotten to Hokkaido from Tokyo, and during the cab ride, he suddenly told the driver to let him out since he thought he could find his relative's place on his own. But the moment he got out, he suddenly realized he just landed the Antarctic region. And he instantly regretted that choice. Shivering like crazy, he started heading toward town, trying to push through the brutal cold. Right when he was starting to giving up, just like you guys on your love life, a gorgeous hot blonde showed up out of nowhere. She was standing there in the snow like it was no big deal. I think guys, she is dressed up in this way because she is a burning heater.
Come on, man!
Tsubasa walked over and asked for help, so she showed him which way to go. Then she told him his house was still hours away if he planned to walk. She also mentioned that another cab probably would not come by anytime soon, but said there was another option. If he waited with her, they could take the bus together. He agreed right away. Once she learned he was from Tokyo, she could not understand why anybody would leave a place like that just to move somewhere covered in snow. Tsubasa said it was because of family stuff, but guys, he is hiding his loser status. She then asked if he thought Hokkaido was boring, but he told her he is enjoying by talking to her and happily views her gates of heaven. Sorry guys, I mean he actually liked how calm and peaceful it felt.
Got you, homie!
They kept talking, and she got really excited when she found out they were the same age and that he would be going to her school too. While she happily kept the conversation going, Tsubasa was getting a little too distracted by how close she was standing next to him. Because guys, this loser can't even talk to a girl, just like you. Then she sneezed and wiped her nose with her hand, which hit a spark in his mind.
What do you mean by that?
He quickly tried to ignore it and handed her some tissues. But getting a view of heaven again, his mind drifted off into some weird thoughts, turning what he saw into something else in his head.
Stop it. Get some help.
A second later, she suddenly tossed some snow down the back of his jacket and laughed when he freaked out. As he looked at her more carefully, he ended up blurting out that she was really cute. That caught her off guard so much that she lightly smacked him. Right after that, the bus finally showed up, and before getting on, she told him her name was Minami. As the bus drove away, Tsubasa stood there, feeling pretty great about meeting such an amazing girl. Then it hit him. He had been so caught up in everything that he forgot to get on the bus with her.
Oh, shit!
Tsubasa gives his self-introduction the next morning, then goes over to a desk near the back and sits down. His eyes move across the room right away, searching for the blonde girl he met earlier, but she is nowhere to be found. That makes his mood drop fast, and he starts thinking that whatever small connection they had probably meant nothing. A moment later, Minami suddenly runs into the room, lights up when she spots him, and moves toward him without hesitation. Before she can do anything else, the teacher cuts in and scolds her for showing up late and being too energetic that early. As the lesson goes on, Tsubasa becomes painfully aware of how cold the classroom is. He cannot understand why it feels like winter even indoors. Everyone else seems ready for it and has brought warm layers, but he came without anything extra and ends up suffering through it. Minami notices his situation and passes him a spare blanket, explaining that she always carries one in case she needs it. When he wraps it around himself, he starts playing with his joystick in class.
Lord have mercy.
When the school day ends, he returns it and thanks her. Minami brings the blanket close and smells something weird, which makes him panic and apologize, worried that it might smell gross after he used it. Instead, she says she likes it because now it carries both of them. Guys, Tsubasa can't handle the flirting skill, and his brain is not responding. As they head home, Minami asks, "How many girlfriends did you have in Tokyo?"
What?
Tsubasa admits that he has never actually been out with a girl before. She tells him why every playboy said the same line. She also tells him that around here, people usually spend time inside because the weather is too harsh for much else. Hearing that sends his thoughts in a dark mode, and he starts picturing himself playing indoor games with her.
Yeah, boy.
He quickly snaps himself out of it and decides there is no way someone like Hot Baddie would ever ask him over. Then she does exactly that.
What?
I think guys maybe. He is blessed with the all Rizz god abilities. She casually invites him to her house the following day. He is sure she must be kidding, but she is not joking at all. Before boarding her train, she swaps contact details with him, leaving him stunned. The next day, Tsubasa arrives at her home with full protection and trying not to embarrass himself. The moment he sees her, he is reminded again of how attractive she is, which does not help him calm down. Then Minami mentions that nobody else is home, and his mind instantly starts running wild. She quickly clears it up by saying it just means they get the heated floor all to themselves, which brings him back down a little. Even so, he still cannot settle fully. While they are together, Minami playfully presses at him with her feet and asks whether there is anything he wants to do.
Oh my god!
He starts thinking this could be a chance, but before he can reply, she gets up to bring him some yogurt. While putting it back afterward, some spills onto her clothes, and he reacts right away. She does not make a big deal out of it, and simply goes to change. While she is away, he tries hard to get himself under control, but when she returns in different clothes, he almost loses that fight immediately.
Wow! Beautiful!
Hoping to steer things somewhere safer, he brings up a film he has wanted to watch for a long time. She agrees, but even while setting it up, her bold moves keep distracting him and make it hard for him to focus. Then the movie starts with every bold scene you can imagine, guys, but ends up making the whole atmosphere even more romantic than he expected. Just when he thinks the situation cannot get stranger, Minami starts making soft sounds and touching him again with her foot. He goes completely still, thinking something serious is happening. But when he finally looks over, he realizes she has simply dozed off. At that point, one thought hits him hard. Maybe she acts this comfortable around him because she doesn't see him like a stepbrother. Later on, Minami opens her eyes and realizes Tsubasa's coat is covering her. He tells her the temperature dropped, so he put it over her while she slept. After that, he takes it back and says he should get going. But the second he starts leaving, she runs after him and says sorry for falling asleep during the time they were spending together. He responds by wrapping his scarf around her instead and telling her off for coming outside without anything warm on. He reaches for his coat too, wanting to give her that as well, but she stops him and says the scarf is more than enough. Right after that, he sneezes from the cold, so she decides she should make up for it by buying him something hot to eat. While they are eating, Minami thinks he is nice guy and can't do the anything extreme.
Okay.
Tsubasa gets a bit of rice from his rice ball stuck on his face. When Minami reaches toward him to get it off, he instantly turns bright red. The following day at school, she suddenly appears behind him in the hallway and catches him looking at a poster for the winter festival. Without making a big deal out of it, she tells him she is going there with him. Her confidence throws him off for a second, and then it sinks in that she basically just invited him out herself. The day before the festival, Minami's mom asks whether she wants to go skiing with the family and her sister, but she says no because she already has something planned. While everyone is talking over lunch, she is messaging Tsubasa instead, reminding him where they are supposed to meet, and even sending him a selfie she took earlier. The second he sees it, he is completely shaken, but he tries not to read too much into it and tells himself she is probably only being nice because he is still the new guy. When festival day arrives, Minami shows up at the station looking so stunning that Tsubasa nearly stops functioning.
Stay hard!
She asks what he thinks, and he nervously tells her she looks really hot before quickly trying to move on. As they head out, he starts talking about how famous Hokkaido's winter festivals are, but she tells him not to build up his expectations too much. Even so, the moment they actually get there, he lights up with excitement, which catches her off guard a little. A huge ice sculpture grabs his attention, and he moves to take a picture of it, but Minami pulls him in and takes a selfie with him instead. Being that close to her, smelling her perfume, and feeling her body heat completely scrambles his thoughts.
Naughty, naughty.
Embarrassed, he asks her to erase the picture, but she only laughs and says they should get food before everything sells out. He buys a corn dog, and she gets a kebab. When he comes back, she casually asks for a bite of his snack and leans in like it is no big deal at all. He lets her have some, but his brain immediately starts overreacting before he realizes this pretty much counts as an indirect kiss. He tries to settle down enough to eat too, but Minami notices and starts teasing him, pointing out how red his face has gotten. After that, they keep enjoying the festival together, trying rides, playing booth games, and eventually stopping to drink something warm. While Tsubasa sits there, thinking about how much fun the whole day has been, Minami admits she never really thought much of the festival before since she had only gone once in the past. But now that she is there with him, it feels different to her. She gets up and thanks him, but then her foot slips on the ice. Tsubasa catches her before she falls, and for a brief second the mood turns serious and close enough that it feels like they might kiss. But Tsubasa is disgusting loser like you so. Instead, he pull back right away, and end up flustered. Once the festival is over, Tsubasa asks Minami if she would join him for other outings too. She happily says yes, then jokes that he really cannot get enough of being around her. A few days later at school, she comes over during lunch carrying a cup of instant ramen and tells him he has to taste it. When he asks what this is about, she brings up how amazed he looked at the festival. Like every snack, there was a brand new experience for him. She gets the noodles ready and even gives him the first bite herself. Seeing how much he enjoys it makes her smile, and she says this is her little payback for letting her try his corn dog. That memory makes him blush all over again, which gives her another reason to tease him. Then he opens his lunchbox, and Minami immediately starts taking pictures because the food looks way too nice not to. He tells her she can have some, so she picks out the most delicious looking piece of meat. When he mentions that his grandmother made everything, Minami jokingly says she would seriously love someone like that forever. Later, once classes are done, Tsubasa thanks her again for sharing the ramen and tells her that nearly everything they have done together has been a first for him. That catches her attention right away, so she wants to hear more. He admits that before meeting her, life felt kind of plain and hollow. She laughs and says he sounds so protected that his family must be rich. He denies it, but she is still not buying it. Then she suddenly asks if she can see where he lives, and with her standing right there in front of him, he ends up saying yes. While they are walking to his house, Tsubasa starts getting nervous about what his family might think if they see him bringing Minami home. Right in the middle of that, she suddenly jumps into a small snow shelter nearby and calls him over to join her. He hesitates, but she pulls him inside anyway. She is having fun and acting totally carefree, while he is just trying to survive being packed that close beside her. Just like you guys who can't do anything. The cramped space is already too much for him, and when he finally scrambles back out, he sees Kaede standing there staring at them with complete disbelief. From her expression alone, it is obvious she has taken the whole thing the wrong way. It gets even worse when Minami grabs onto Tsubasa's arm and jokes that he ran away the second things got a little tight in there. Then she learns that Kaede is his grandmother and instantly switches into full admiration, excitedly praising her without realizing how awful the timing is. Kaede then asks what exactly Minami is to him, and Tsubasa quickly answers that they are only classmates. The atmosphere turns strange right away, so Kaede uses that moment to end the exchange and politely starts walking off with him. Minami stays friendly and tells Kaede to be careful on the way back. As he leaves with his grandmother, Tsubasa starts feeling like the perfect dream he had built up around his new life in Hokkaido is already falling apart. But then, Minami suddenly appears again and asks why Kaede is carrying an umbrella. Kaede explains that it is snowing, but Minami says umbrellas can actually be risky on snowy roads. She mentions that her own grandmother once got badly hurt after slipping. She also warns them that the path ahead is dangerous and points out another way that is safer. On top of that, she offers to help by taking some of their bags. Tsubasa grabs the bags himself instead, trying to act more dependable. As they continue walking, he notices Minami seems a little hurt, probably because of how quickly he brushed off their connection earlier. Once he realizes that, he leans toward her and quietly tells her that she really is important to him. The moment she hears that, her face turns bright red, and her cheerful mood comes right back. When they finally arrive at his place, Minami is stunned. The house is not just big, it is basically a full-on mansion.
You're broke!
She is about to head out, but Kaede catches both of them off guard by asking her to stay and have some tea. While she is making it, Kaede starts thinking that maybe Minami is not as bad as she first seemed. But the second she steps into the guest room and finds Minami taking selfies, like the whole place is her private set, all her doubts come rushing back. She is ready to throw her out right then, but then she notices the look on Tsubasa's face. He is smiling so openly that it reminds her of something he once said about wanting to become someone important, someone who could truly matter to others. Seeing that expression again makes her hold back, and she decides not to say anything that might ruin it. At school, the next day, the teacher gives everyone their pairings for the ski trip. Tsubasa checks the list and sees that he has been matched with a girl named Sayuri, a quiet student with purple hair baddie. A few days later, during the trip, he is sitting in front of Minami on the bus while she keeps talking excitedly about how she is going to show everyone how good she is at skiing. Tsubasa admits he is feeling nervous, and Minami instantly tells him she will look out for him. A moment later, though, she notices Sayuri sitting beside him and tries talking to her too. Sayuri barely responds at all, acting like Minami is not even there. Minami does not seem too bothered and casually tells Tsubasa she has been trying to get closer to Sayuri for a while. That catches him off guard since he assumed the two of them simply did not like each other. Minami explains that Sayuri has always stayed distant. When he asks why she keeps trying, Minami says it is because Sayuri is so pretty that she cannot help wanting to be friends with her. Tsubasa takes a better look at Sayuri after hearing that and gets pulled in by how striking she is. Minami notices right away, and clearly does not love that reaction. Once they reach the ski area, the teacher brings everyone together, goes over the safety rules, and then starts dividing the class based on skill level. Tsubasa is offered a place with the beginners, but he says he wants to get used to just moving around in skis by himself first. The teacher ends up putting him with Sayuri, who is also new to it, and says he will come back now and then to check on them. As soon as the teacher walks off, Tsubasa tries introducing himself to Sayuri properly. She does not even bother with him. Instead, she puts in her earbuds and starts walking away. He follows anyway, and copies the way she moves until he slowly starts figuring it out. Just when he begins to feel like he is doing okay, he sees her lose balance. He moves to help, but before he can do anything, Minami suddenly rushes in and shows off her skiing like an expert. Tsubasa ends up praising her skill, but the teacher immediately scolds her for fooling around and jumping off ramps, then calls her over. After that, Sayuri, now back on her feet, asks Tsubasa if he and Minami are together. He quickly denies it and says Minami just likes messing with him. Sayuri does not seem convinced and says there is obviously something more going on. Then she makes a comment about how Minami is exactly what people expect from a popular girl, and Tsubasa can tell there is a lot of bitterness hiding behind the way she says it. Before he can answer, Sayuri cuts the moment short and walks away. Meanwhile, Minami ends up helping another classmate learn how to ski like she is some kind of instructor. Not long after that, the teacher comes back and apologizes to Tsubasa for leaving him alone even though he is still a total beginner. He tells him they can take a break now since the rest of the group already had theirs. So Tsubasa heads to the cafeteria to grab some food, but then realizes he forgot his chopsticks and turns back toward the bus. When Tsubasa heads back to the bus, he accidentally catches Sayuri playing with her plots.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Sorry guys, I mean she is in the middle of wiping away sweat. He is so startled that he turns around at once, apologizes, and says he will forget the whole thing ever happened. But before he can leave, she stops him and says she wants to tell him the truth. The two of them end up eating together, sitting side by side. After she finishes her food, Sayuri finally opens up. Nervously, she explains that sweating too much has always been something she struggles with, and it completely crushed her confidence. Because of that, she ended up isolated, going through school without really building any close friendships. Tsubasa asks why she would trust him with something so private, and she says it is because he feels removed from everything, like someone with no reason to turn her problems into gossip. A sound suddenly comes from her bag. Flustered, she quickly grabs it, and Tsubasa assumes it is her phone. Instead, she pulls out a handheld game console and starts up a game. He is caught off guard that she is into gaming at all, and when she tells him what she is playing, he asks what kind of game it is. She is amazed when she finds out he has never played one before, so she hands the system over and tells him to try. He struggles almost instantly. Sayuri leans in to show him what buttons to press and how everything works. Then she notices how close they are and pulls back a little when she catches him blushing. He says he is okay, but she wipes her forehead again and admits that people usually get pushed away by how intense she gets about the things she likes. Even when she tries hard to connect with others, that side of her seems to make things harder. Tsubasa tells her that he actually likes seeing how deeply she cares about what she enjoys. Then he asks her to teach him more so they can play together again. That clearly reaches her. She says that if he really means it, then he should start calling her professor. He agrees, and with her help, he manages to get his first win not long after. Then both of them realize they spent way too much time on break. When they head back out, Tsubasa suggests that they try skiing down the slope for real. He says they should handle it the same way they would tackle a game, one step at a time. Sayuri hesitates, but agrees. Around then, Minami starts looking for Tsubasa, and the second she spots him casually talking with Sayuri, she stops cold. The ride up the hill begins pretty calmly, but then Sayuri asks why he is even trying this when he clearly has no real experience. Tsubasa admits that watching how fearless Minami is made him want to challenge himself and do something he normally would avoid. Sayuri gives him a knowing look and says he likes Minami. He quickly denies it, and then she softens and admits that Minami has always treated her kindly, even if she still has a hard time fully believing in that kindness. Once they reach the top, Tsubasa makes her an offer. He says that if he can make it all the way down without wiping out, then she has to promise she will finally talk to Minami. He adds that he knows Minami truly wants to be close to her, and that he wants to be friends with her too. But guys, I think maybe he is planning something else. Sayuri reluctantly agrees, but only on the condition that he goes down together with her. So they start descending the slope, with Tsubasa talking her through the basics while moving ahead toward the bottom. Then all at once, Sayuri starts yelling that she does not know how to stop. Tsubasa immediately freaks out when he realizes he forgot to explain the most important part: how to pull out. Right after that, Minami shows up like superwoman at the perfect moment, and quickly teaches Sayuri how to fall the right way so she does not get hurt. Both of them make it down safely, and Tsubasa rushes over to make sure they are okay. A second later, the teacher comes charging in and starts lecturing them. Sayuri tells Tsubasa she will share the blame with him, but he tells her to stay out of it and says he will take the heat himself. Then, for the first time, Sayuri turns to Minami and says sorry for shutting her out for so long. That apology hits Minami so hard that she turns completely red. Later, on the ride back, Minami sits there sulking a little after Tsubasa and Sayuri both fall asleep leaning against each other, leaving her feeling weirdly left out. The next morning, Tsubasa decides he is not going anywhere because the snowstorm outside looks way too intense. But Kaede tells him that if he wants to prove he can handle Hokkaido like a local, he has to stop hiding from the weather. He takes that as a challenge and heads outside, only to regret it almost immediately. The freezing wind hits him hard, making it harder and harder to even breathe. While trying to push through it, he starts thinking about how Minami somehow handles this kind of weather like it is nothing. Then a loud horn suddenly snaps him out of it, and he tumbles straight into a pile of snow. When he looks up, he sees Minami's face and honestly thinks he is hallucinating. But she is actually there, and she quickly pulls him into the car. In the driver's seat is her mom, Mai, who tells him to relax and get comfortable. Tsubasa is caught off guard right away because it is obvious where Minami got her looks from. Then Minami casually introduces him as the rich kid she told her mom about before, and Mai instantly starts joking around, saying Minami should put more effort into dressing up if she wants to impress him. Minami fires back by reminding her that she is already married. Mai then asks Tsubasa, "How many girlfriends did you have in Tokyo?" "But sorry guys, I'm feeling sad for you, because you know girlfriend." Minami nudges him when she sees him getting embarrassed, but he complains that he is still sore from the ski trip. She tells him she will go easy on him for now. Mai keeps teasing the two of them, making comments about how good they look together, until she notices Minami is getting seriously annoyed and finally backs off. Then she changes the subject and asks Tsubasa if he has ever seen this much snow before. He tells her that if Tokyo got hit like this, people there would probably act like the world was ending. He also says he expected to see more locals outside in weather like this, but both Minami and Mai immediately shut that idea down. That leaves him wondering what Kaede really meant when she talked about Hokkaido people being so tough. A little later, Minami asks her mom if she can take a winter part-time job, so she can buy clothes and makeup for herself, but Mai says no right away. As the two of them go back and forth, Tsubasa looks at them and accidentally says out loud that they are both really beautiful. That instantly makes both of them blush. But I think guys, he wants to kill two birds with one stone. When they finally get to school, Tsubasa thanks Mai for picking him up. She tells him she doesn't mind driving him anywhere since their homes are only a few minutes apart. Once Tsubasa gets out of the car, Mai grins at Minami and says she got lucky finding such a nice, rich boy. That sends Minami into full blush mode, and she quickly runs after him. In the hallway, she spots Sayuri and rushes over to greet her with a hug, knocking her back against the wall a little. Tsubasa asks if Sayuri is still aching from the ski trip too, and the two of them start talking, which makes Minami visibly annoyed since she is getting ignored. During class, Minami notices Tsubasa finally brought his own cardigan and blanket, but says he still might not be warm enough. She pulls open her coat, and his mind instantly goes somewhere dumb, but she is only showing him the heat pack stuck to her top. She gives him a few, and he thanks her. Then she digs through her bag, and realizes she is out of lip color. Hearing that, he offers to go with her to buy more after school. She catches a slight local accent in the way he says it, and starts teasing him for sounding more like someone from Hokkaido. Then Sayuri suddenly says Minami is nothing like a typical girl from there. That throws both of them off, so Sayuri explains by mentioning Minami's standout looks first, then adds that her energy is way stronger than most people around them. A little later, Tsubasa notices Sayuri brought her game console. When he asks her to keep teaching him, she gets embarrassed but clearly happy. He explains to Minami that he calls Sayuri senpai because she has been showing him how to play, and Minami instantly says she wants lessons too. Sayuri agrees to teach her as well and seems quietly touched by that. After school, the girls take him around the mall. At some point, Sayuri starts showing Minami how the game works, and it ends with Minami winning and both of them celebrating. While Tsubasa steps away to use the bathroom, Minami asks Sayuri to come look at makeup with her, and she says yes. During that time, Sayuri apologizes for how distant she used to be and tells Minami she really is a great friend. When Tsubasa comes back, the three of them keep shopping until evening, then finish things off by taking a few photos together. I think they are planning something new. That night, he is working on homework but cannot remember the deadline, so he decides to ask Minami. Before he even sends anything, she messages first, saying she is soaking in the tub and attaching a photo. Instead of reacting how she hoped, he only comments on the toy floating in the water. Irritated, she sends another picture, expecting that one to finally get to him, but he still barely bites. So, she starts a video call. She is pleased when his face finally shows the reaction she wanted, while he hurriedly points his phone away and tries to stay calm. Then he brings up the assignment, and she jolts because she has not touched it yet. In her panic, her phone slips and briefly shows more than she meant to. At the same time, his phone slips too, so he does not even get a clear look. She immediately hangs up, desperate to end the moment. Tsubasa is left staring at the screen, confused out of his mind, while Minami is dying of embarrassment and swearing to herself that she is never pulling something like that again. Later that week, Tsubasa joins Minami, Sayuri, and several of Minami's friends at karaoke. He gets thrown off when Minami sings a romantic track while looking straight at him. Her friends ask why she keeps choosing that same number again and again, and she casually says it just pumps her up. Around then, Sayuri asks Tsubasa whether he has ever done karaoke much before. He admits it has only been with relatives. When he asks about her, she says she usually goes by herself, like some pathetic loner, wanting to keep things easy. He acts like that is totally normal and even praises her for confidently going alone. A moment later, Minami's friends crowd in to help them pick songs, but they get way too close, making both Tsubasa and Sayuri tense up. Minami quickly slips between them and says she wants to help too, basically rescuing both of them. As more time passes, more girls show up, and the conversation slowly shifts toward the tests coming up. During all that, Sayuri starts relaxing enough to talk with the others. At one point, Minami finds a page full of chocolate ideas and reminds everyone that Valentine's Day is coming soon. The talk immediately turns to chocolate customs, and Tsubasa quietly starts wondering whether Minami will give him anything. Then, one of her friends, Matsuo, says she is expecting Minami's usual homemade chocolate. Tsubasa worries for a second, but once he learns Minami normally makes some for the whole class, he feels a little less worked up. Sayuri notices that reaction. When someone asks whether she plans to make chocolate for anybody, she says her money is better spent on games instead. Soon after, some of the boys ask Tsubasa if girls ever give him chocolate. He says he only gets any from family members. Both Minami and Sayuri pay close attention to that answer. Later, when everyone starts heading out, both girls call out to him. Sayuri lets Minami go first, and Minami happily tells Tsubasa she is glad he and Sayuri are getting along with everybody. When he asks whether Sayuri wanted something too, she brushes it aside. On the walk home, though, Valentine's Day stays stuck in her head. The next day, Sayuri tries to ignore the whole thing by burying herself in games and telling herself romance does not matter. Even so, she ends up slipping into a store to buy ingredients for chocolate. There, she runs into Minami, who says she is shopping for the same reason. When Minami asks whether Sayuri is too, Sayuri quickly makes up a story about needing new makeup and asks for help choosing some. Minami gets excited and helps pick out cosmetics for both of them. After that, when Minami moves on to buy supplies for her Valentine chocolate, Sayuri shyly asks if she can come along, saying she wants to make chocolate for Minami too. That makes Minami ridiculously happy. Much later, while walking home after all that shopping, Sayuri suddenly asks whether Minami plans to make Tsubasa a different kind of chocolate from the kind she gives everyone else. Both of them instantly realize what that question really means, and both start blushing. Minami quickly says there is nothing special going on between her and Tsubasa, then points out that Sayuri is close with him too. Sayuri rejects that idea and says they are only gaming friends. The mood turns weird after that, so they part ways fast. Still, as each of them heads home, both keep thinking about the same thing, whether Tsubasa should get a chocolate meant just for him. That night, after studying for a long time, Tsubasa tries to stop thinking about Valentine's Day. Elsewhere, Sayuri is having a hard time making chocolate when Minami texts to ask how it is going. Realizing she is completely stuck, Sayuri asks for help, wanting to make the best chocolate she can. Instead of texting back, Minami calls her. On the call, Minami carefully explains each step, and Sayuri follows along until she reaches the end. After that, she asks about Minami's own batch. Since she put a lot of effort into it, Minami excitedly says she cannot wait to see how everyone reacts. Then she suddenly asks whether Sayuri has someone special in mind for hers. Sayuri denies it, but Minami keeps pressing her to name somebody. Before Tsubasa can come up, though, an accident happens, and spilled ingredients ruin all of Minami's chocolate. Sayuri quickly asks what went wrong, and Minami sadly tells her the whole batch is ruined. Feeling crushed, she wishes Sayuri luck, and ends the call, leaving Sayuri worried. The next day, Tsubasa opens his locker expecting chocolate, but finds nothing. In class, he notices Minami's eyes are slightly red. Even so, she gives him a piece of candy. He thanks her, but can still sense that something is bothering her. Sayuri arrives and gets the same candy. Minami then rushes off to hand candy to the rest of the class, but Matsuo complains because she did not bring the homemade chocolate she promised. Minami forces a smile, even though the comment clearly hurts. After seeing that, Sayuri pulls Matsuo aside and warns him not to talk to Minami like that again. That is enough to scare him. When school ends, Tsubasa stays behind to help Minami clean up and thanks her again for the candy. That finally pushes her over the edge, and she starts crying. Just then, Sayuri comes back, and together they listen as Minami admits that the chocolate she spent hours making was completely ruined. She says she wanted Tsubasa to get her best batch, and now she feels like she let everyone down. To cheer her up, Tsubasa sits at the piano and plays the love song she always sings at karaoke. When she asks how he knew it, he says it was obvious because she always picks that one, and adds that it is the least he can do for someone who always brightens his day. Her mood begins to lift. Then Sayuri steps forward and, instead of giving chocolate to Tsubasa, hands her batch to Minami. Overjoyed, Minami throws her arms around her. Tsubasa feels embarrassed for assuming Sayuri's chocolate was meant for him, but then she gives him another small package and says that one is for her favorite student. When he thanks her with a smile, she turns red, compliments his piano playing, and the three of them eat the chocolate together. At the start of the next week, a teacher warns the class that finals are getting close and tells everyone to start preparing. As soon as class ends, Tsubasa begins sorting his notes for another study session. Minami looks miserable about the whole idea, so he asks why she hates tests so much. She says they feel like a boring system made to corner people, and asks whether he actually likes them. He explains that exams just show how much effort he put into studying. That answer makes her pause, and she suddenly suggests they all study at her house after school. Later, Sayuri asks why she has to come too, but Minami says it will be better with everyone there. When Sayuri wonders if this is really about studying, Minami insists she is serious this time because finals matter. Once they get to her house, Minami goes to grab drinks while the other two head toward her room. On the way, Tsubasa admits he has been inside before, though not in her bedroom. Sayuri gets suspicious, but relaxes when he says nothing happened. The moment they step into Minami's very pink room full of stuffed dolls, Tsubasa's thoughts start drifting, and Sayuri notices. Minami comes back carrying soda, which turns out to be Sayuri's favorite. Tsubasa says he has never tried it before, so Minami pours him a glass, and he likes it right away. They start studying with history questions. Tsubasa and Sayuri answer most of them, but Minami keeps falling behind. When it is her turn, she shares a random fact about their area once producing most of the world's mint. Tsubasa finds it interesting, but Sayuri points out that it will not help on the test. That makes Minami feel dumb next to them, but Tsubasa tells her she will improve if they keep studying together. That immediately motivates her. Hours later, Minami starts getting restless, but Tsubasa notices the time and panics because he is past curfew. He rushes downstairs, trips, and crashes into Mai's plot. She laughs it off and offers him to ride.
What do you mean by that?
Sorry guys, I mean she offers to drive him home. On the way, she thanks him for cheering Minami up on Valentine's Day with the piano, and says she would have stayed heartbroken without him. After seeing how hard he worked, she hands him a soda before dropping him off. But the second he gets home, he feels a heavy stare and finds Kaede waiting at the entrance, clearly aware he is late for dinner. At daybreak, Kaede orders Tsubasa to handle the trash before leaving. He accepts instantly, still shaken by the harsh warning she gave him the previous evening about messing up again. Out by the drop-off area, he notices an pink-hair baddie standing in the snow. The whole scene feels almost unreal. When she catches him looking, he tenses up, but she only tosses out a light remark about enjoying the task and walks away. Once he gets to school, Minami tells him that the girl is Rena, an upperclassman who has stayed on top of the school beauty rankings for years. She admits she has admired her for ages. Soon after, Minami invites him to another after-school review session with her and Sayuri, but he refuses, saying he needs solo study time. That answer clearly takes the wind out of her. Since he does not want to mention Kaeda's threats, he simply says he needs to concentrate. Minami turns to Sayuri next, but she also declines, saying the last get-together was mostly talking instead of actual prep. At lunch, Minami still joins Sayuri, even though Sayuri normally prefers eating quietly while gaming alone. She complains about Tsubasa turning her down, and Sayuri says he is probably just tied up. Meanwhile, Tsubasa heads to the library to work, only for loud snoring to break the silence. He looks over and finds Rena asleep at the desk. Her appearance distracts him for a moment. After waking up, she notices him, explains that she serves on the library committee, then spots the question he is stuck on. She solves it in a glance and leaves him stunned. When classes end, Kaede is waiting again. He expects another scolding, but instead she says she plans to train him so he will stop being swayed by pretty girls. She takes him into a traditional room and starts teaching him the proper way to prepare tea. In the middle of the lesson, the doorbell rings. Tsubasa answers and finds Rena delivering the neighborhood notice, which makes him realize she lives nearby. She becomes fixated on the kimono he is wearing and moves in close to admire it, which immediately flusters him. Kaede appears, visibly irritated, but Rena smoothly covers herself by claiming Tsubasa caught her when she nearly stumbled. She hands over the notice and leaves. To his surprise, Kaede actually approves of Rena and calls her a proper young lady. Then she notices his thoughts are still elsewhere and lays down a brutal condition. If he does not place in the top 10 on the finals, he is going back to Tokyo. That lands like a punch. The next morning, on his walk to school, Tsubasa admits to himself that too much of his time has been eaten up by distractions. He decides to get serious and focus fully on studying. Right after making that decision, Rena appears and says she has been waiting for him. Seeing that he looks troubled, she wonders whether yesterday's incident caused problems. He tells her the real issue is his grades. She apologizes for earlier and offers to tutor him. He politely declines, but she takes it as him assuming she is only pretty and nothing more. Feeling guilty, he explains that he wants to score near the very top. She calmly reveals that she has always ranked first in the school. That changes everything. Remembering how effortlessly she solved his problem in the library, he quickly asks her to teach him after all. She agrees and tells him to meet her in a storage room beside the library so they can study privately.
What?
I don't know the reason, guys, why she invites him to a private room. When he hesitates, wondering whether that could cause trouble, she reminds him that library access falls under her responsibility. Then it fully sinks in. He is about to spend long hours alone with the school's top student, and his face heats up. In another part of school, Minami and Erika grumble about having to keep studying. As they get ready to head back, Erika notices Tsubasa near the entrance and points him out. Minami, already irritated, is about to take it out on him, but then she sees him with Rena. She stops cold, after hearing Rena tell him to meet her later at their private study place. Instead of getting upset with Rena, Minami goes straight to Tsubasa and demands to know why he never told her he was close with someone she idolizes so much. Remembering how much Minami adores Rena, he explains how they ended up connected. Later, Minami asks him again to study with her, but he turns her down. That leaves him feeling bad, especially since he has barely spent time with her lately. Even so, Katie's warning stays in his head, so he goes straight to the library for his lesson with Rena. In the storage room, she asks what he wants to work on first. After fighting with his own mind, he chooses math. After looking through his notes, she tells him he is already solid, but he asks her to be stricter so he can improve further. They keep going until the school announces closing time. Before leaving, he asks whether she can continue helping him until finals are over. She asks why he cares so much about scoring well, and he tells her that his future with certain important people depends on it. She agrees, but only if he takes her out afterward once he succeeds. A few nights later, Minami tries relaxing with her favorite show, but Momoko reminds her that exams are almost here. Minami says she has zero desire to study, and Mai tells her not to push herself, handing her a soda instead. While pouring it, Minami asks if her weird heartbeat means something, but Mai jokes around instead of answering seriously. At the same time, Tsubasa wraps up an online lesson with Rena and thanks her for all her help that week. She tells him their promised outing will make the effort worthwhile. After the call, he tries to review a little more before bed, but Katie interrupts with a snack and asks if he is prepared. He says yes. When the tests begin, Minami is just glad the cramming is over, while Sayuri is even more nervous after wasting another night gaming. Later, Minami decides to try studying in the library for once. She notices Tsubasa heading that way too and follows, but loses track of him. The next morning, she brings it up, but he acts like she must have imagined it, convinced secrecy is the only way to reach his goal. A week later, Minami is unhappy with her result and admits to Sayuri that she should have worked harder. Sayuri casually mentions ranking above 100 other students, then looks for Tsubasa and realizes he already left. Meanwhile, Tsubasa tells Rena he placed third and thanks her. He asks about her score, worried she may have slipped because of tutoring him, but she calmly says she stayed in first place. Then she reminds him that he still owes her that date. That weekend, Mai checks on Minami and asks whether she wants anything from the mall. But Minami is still lying around in a bad mood because of her exam result. Elsewhere, Tsubasa tells Kaede he is meeting someone and heads out. He arrives too soon, and not long after, Rena appears in a graceful kimono, admitting she came early too because she had been looking forward to seeing him. As they head off together, Mai happens to notice them and immediately messages Minami. Rena catches Tsubasa staring and wonders whether her makeup looks strange, but he tells her she looks beautiful dressed like that. She smiles, then asks where he plans to take her. He awkwardly admits he never decided on anything because he still does not know the area very well. Rena says that does not matter to her as long as she gets to spend time with him. When Minami reads her mother's message, she is stunned to learn Tsubasa is out with another girl. Later, she meets Sayuri at the mall and shows her the text without saying much. Minami acts like she only came because she wanted to see Rena outside school, but Sayuri cannot ignore the uncomfortable feeling that hits when she spots Tsubasa and Rena together in matching kimono. She points out that the two of them are clearly on a date. Minami brushes it off by saying she just got curious after her mom texted her. When Sayuri asks why she got dragged into this, Minami says she thought she might want to see it too. Sayuri quietly admits she did. Once Tsubasa and Rena move on, Sayuri ends up being the one who keeps the tailing going. At the arcade, Rena notices a shabby-looking bear inside a claw machine and says she has wanted it for a long time. Tsubasa jumps in and says he will win it for her, but try after try goes nowhere. Watching from nearby, Sayuri gets irritated enough to want to step in herself, though Minami stops her. In the end, Tsubasa can only grab a smaller stuffed toy instead of the one Rena wanted. Still, he gives it to her, and she happily accepts it, saying she will treasure it because he tried so hard for her sake. That answer lands hard with him. Seeing that, Minami quietly admits she admires how Tsubasa always gives his all when it comes to making other people happy, even though he is still adjusting to a completely new place. She almost says more, then quickly changes what she meant before revealing too much, but Sayuri is too focused on the prize machines to hear any of it. A while later, they spot Tsubasa and Rena heading into a theater, so Minami and Sayuri decide to watch a movie too. During the film, Rena unexpectedly begins to cry, which catches Tsubasa off guard. After it ends, they sit down together, and he asks whether movies usually affect her that strongly. Rena explains that the woman in the story felt painfully familiar, because she also spent years pushing herself so people would finally value her. She admits that sometimes she wonders whether she has any worth outside of success. Tsubasa tells her that plenty of people admire her, even if they never say it directly. That surprises her, since she always assumed people only saw her looks and polished image, not the effort underneath. He tells her that the hard work is exactly what earns that respect. After hearing that, Rena says they may understand each other more than she expected. Then she directly asks whether he already belongs to someone, because she wants to know whether she still has a shot. Right then, Minami and Sayuri are coming down the escalator after finishing their own movie when they notice Tsubasa and Rena sitting together below. Tsubasa tells Rena he does not have a girlfriend, and she asks whether that ever makes him feel lonely. To her, it seems impossible that someone could move somewhere this cold and remote and still feel fine without having somebody special beside him. Tsubasa answers that life in Hokkaido became much better because of Minami and Sayuri, and that meeting Rena made things even brighter for him. That answer clearly makes Rena happy. Then Tsubasa asks whether she would like to spend time with him and the other girls again sometime. As soon as she says yes, Minami and Sayuri suddenly step out from hiding and say there is no reason to wait. Tsubasa realizes they were listening and immediately asks how much they heard. Minami quickly claims they only caught the part where Rena agreed to be friends with them. Rena asks who they are, so Tsubasa introduces them as his friends. Minami instantly complains that he made them sound way less important than they really are. Watching the way they act around each other, Rena starts to understand why Tsubasa treasures them so much. Minami then introduces herself properly and eagerly asks Rena for a handshake. The second Rena agrees, Minami grabs her hand with total excitement and practically loses control over finally getting to interact with someone she admires so much. Sayuri, seeing that reaction, tells her to calm down. Even so, Rena starts warming to them and says she now understands why Tsubasa thinks so highly of both girls. Then Mai suddenly shows up, jokes about Tsubasa surrounding himself with 3 beautiful girls at once, and invites everyone out for grilled meat. At the restaurant, Minami takes the first bite and instantly falls in love with how rich it tastes. Sayuri and Rena try it too and react like they have never had meat that good before. Mai even grills some for Tsubasa herself, and after tasting it, he feels even more attached to Hokkaido. In the middle of the meal, Mai teases him again about spending time with such gorgeous girls. Since he acts clueless, she points out how stunning Rena and Sayuri are. Minami gets annoyed that she was not included, though she agrees the other 2 are amazing. She also brings up that Rena placed first on the exams again, and Sayuri comments that being both beautiful and smart seems unfair. Minami immediately argues that it is not luck at all, but the result of serious effort and non-stop work. Hearing that gets Rena emotional, and when Tsubasa says more people recognize her hard work than she thinks, she sincerely thanks him for helping her realize it. Later, when everyone is about to head home, Minami pulls Tsubasa aside and asks directly whether he is seeing Rena. When he says no, she tells him to get ready, because she wants a proper date with him during spring break. A few days later, at school, Sayuri is struggling with the cold while Minami is weirdly energetic. Minami reminds her that White Day is coming soon, when people return gifts they got on Valentine's Day. Sayuri brushes it off and says most people do not care that much. Minami disagrees and says Tsubasa has definitely been planning something, which gets both of them curious. Then they spot him heading upstairs. Minami tries teasing him about paying them back for the chocolate, but when he calmly admits he has been thinking about it for days, she ends up disappointed that he does not get embarrassed at all. On his way to class, Tsubasa gets stopped by Matsuo, who pulls him aside to ask for help with White Day. He admits he really wants to make things right with Minami after what he said on Valentine's Day. He also brings up Sayuri threatening him back then. Tsubasa tells him she has probably moved on already. He says a sincere apology to Minami should fix things, and it could also improve how Sayuri sees him. Matsuo is impressed, thanks him, and rushes off to get everything ready. Later, back at home, Tsubasa asks Kaede to help him make the snack he loved as a kid for White Day. When she asks why he cares so much about it, he says it is a good excuse to make the people important to him happy. Hearing that, she quietly agrees to help. The following afternoon, Matsuo catches Minami alone, gives her a box of pie, and apologizes properly. He asks if they can still be friends. Minami accepts it, thanks him, and says she had already let that whole thing go. Right after that, Tsubasa and Sayuri show up and admit they were nearby in case the apology went badly. Sayuri decides to forgive Matsuo too, and he gives her a box as well. Seeing the mood improve, Tsubasa hands out the homemade milk rice crackers he made as a return gift for Valentine's Day. Matsuo is thrilled just to get something from a friend, while Minami and Sayuri both get flustered and happy receiving something from him. That evening at dinner, Tsubasa thanks Kaede again for helping with the crackers and asks for the recipe so he can send it to Minami. She agrees. While he is taking a photo of it, Matsuo suddenly messages him and invites him fishing that weekend. Since he has never gone before, Tsubasa hesitates for a moment, then he decides to accept, thinking it might be fun to try something new. A few days later, Matsuo and his dad take Tsubasa to a busy fishing lake packed with people. The boys head off on their own, but while walking, they run into Minami, who pops out of a tent and explains that her family came too. She says they already gave up and went back to the car after catching nothing. Matsuo invites her to join them, and Tsubasa agrees. Since Matsuo knows what he is doing, he spends the next few minutes setting everything up while Tsubasa watches. Once they finally start, everyone is excited, but after an hour, they still have not caught a single fish. Minami suggests maybe they picked the wrong place. Matsuo decides to go ask his dad about a better spot, and leaves the two of them alone. After he is gone, Tsubasa asks Minami whether she is getting bored. She says she is fine, and points out that it has been a while since they got to spend time alone. Sitting there with her, he realizes he still is not used to how pretty she is. Then she drags her chair closer and shows him a makeup video to pass the time. While she talks about it, he mostly pretends to follow, but he does tell her that her makeup always looks really good. Minami asks if he has really been paying that much attention to her. He quickly tries to deny it, then says he just respects how much effort she puts into looking good. That answer makes her heart race. She opens up and says she wants to help other people feel beautiful too, and even dreams of studying makeup overseas someday. Tsubasa tells her that goal sounds incredible and calls her amazing, which makes her blush even harder. Then she leans in close, studies his face, and asks if she can try doing his makeup. When he starts to pull away, she stops him and rubs lip balm onto his lips instead. Holding him still like that makes the whole moment feel far more than a kiss to him than it should. Soon after, Matsuo comes back saying he found a better place. Once they move, the fish start biting, and before long, they are cooking them right there. Tsubasa takes a bite and gets blown away by how good it tastes. Matsuo then pulls out homemade snacks, making the whole meal even better. But the next day, Tsubasa comes down sick after finally losing to the cold. Sayuri messages to ask how he is doing, and the two agree to play games once he gets better. Kaede brings him porridge, and mentions that Rena stopped by with water after hearing he was ill, even leaving a note hoping he recovers soon. As his condition gets worse, Minami suddenly appears, saying Kaede asked her to look after him. Being that close to her makes it hard for him to think straight. She checks his temperature by touching her forehead to his, then gives him a mint to help him breathe easier. After that, she apologizes, blaming herself for keeping him out fishing so long, and says she will do whatever he wants to make up for it. His feverish brain runs wild, and he drops back onto the bed. Minami pulls the blanket over him and asks if he needs anything else. Barely awake, he grabs her arm and quietly asks her not to leave, so she stays beside him, holding his hand until he falls asleep. By the next morning, the fever is gone. He texts her to say thanks for coming by and asks whether anything happened, since he barely remembers. She replies that nothing happened, though she secretly keeps thinking about the moment they sat there, hand in hand, and how she did not want it to end. About a week later, the weather starts easing up, and for the first time since arriving in Hokkaido, Tsubasa can clearly see the road ahead. On his way to school, he is surprised to find Minami waiting at the crossing. Realizing how far she had to come, he figures out she came all that way just to see him. The moment she spots him, she rushes over, grabs his arm, and complains about how long she had to wait in the cold. When he asks why she never told him beforehand, she says she wanted to surprise him, then immediately checks whether he still has any fever left. He tells her Kaede has been forcing him to sleep early, so he does not get sick again. Minami says that is probably for the best, though she admits she wanted more chances to spend time with him. That catches him off guard, and she notices his reaction right away. Trying to move on, he starts talking about spring and says cherry blossoms are probably blooming in Tokyo by now. They keep chatting until the topic turns to class changes for the new term. Minami's mood drops, since she heard students might be split by grades. She worries they could end up apart and that he might stop talking to her. Then she admits that was the real reason she came out early to meet him. To calm her down, Tsubasa promises that even if they end up in different rooms, he will still go see her. He gets embarrassed right after saying it, but Minami immediately cheers up and spends the rest of the walk teasing him. When the new roster is posted, Tsubasa finds out he will be in the same room as Minami again, and the excitement shows on his face right away. Minami is already thrilled, but she gets even happier once Sayuri comes over and realizes she ended up there too. Off in the distance, Tsubasa notices Rena and starts to head her way, but another student reaches her first and pulls her into a conversation. All he gets is a small smile from her before she disappears into the crowd. Not long after that, Minami points out Fuyuki's updated hairstyle. Tsubasa tells her it really works for her, and the comment leaves Fuyuki frozen and red-faced. A moment later, Matsuo comes charging in, hyped that they all get to spend another school year together. Later on, while they are out in the corridor, Sayuri brings up a game she recently started playing. Matsuo immediately says he knows it too, and before long, the two of them are deep in gaming talk while Minami just stands there watching. Tsubasa notices she has been left out and quickly pulls her into the conversation so she does not get sidelined. When class starts, their new homeroom teacher, Misa, introduces herself and says they need to choose student leaders. Matsuo instantly throws Tsubasa's name out for class president, and both Minami and Sayuri support him without hesitation, saying he is the kind of person people can count on. Misa asks whether he is willing to take it on, and after a short pause, he says he will do his best. That is enough for her to name him president. Then she asks who wants to serve as vice president. Minami's hand shoots up right away, and since nobody objects, Misa gives her the position, making the two of them the class pair in charge. That night, Tsubasa gets on a call with Sayuri so they can play together. He mentions that he has been wanting to spend more time using the console he bought, and when she asks whether he has had it long, he explains that he saved up over time before finally getting one. She then wonders why he is always so willing to throw himself into unfamiliar things. He tells her that the only way to expand your world is to try things you have never touched before, and he admits he is genuinely glad she was the one who brought games into his life. Once they connect online, Sayuri shows him an enormous mansion she has spent weeks building. Slightly embarrassed, she says he is the first person she has ever invited to see it. Wanting to respond in kind, he takes her over to his own place, which is nothing more than a tiny starter shack. He jokes that catching up to her level might take him ages. Sayuri offers to help fix that, and the two of them end up spending hours gathering materials, climbing around, and building side by side. Eventually, Sayuri says they should stop for a bit. Tsubasa thanks her and says she is honestly amazing at this. She immediately shrugs it off and claims it is no big deal, then starts downplaying herself again, calling herself the least interesting person in their circle. She even says Matsuo showed more guts than she ever has by nominating Tsubasa in front of everyone. Before she can keep tearing herself down, Tsubasa cuts in and tells her she is nothing like the girl she was when they first met. That makes her go quiet. Deep down, she knows a lot of that change happened because of him, but she keeps that thought to herself. The following day, Tsubasa and Minami remain at school after everyone else leaves, so they can sort class handouts. As the sky darkens and the building gets quieter, Tsubasa starts feeling uneasy from how empty everything sounds. Minami notices and starts teasing him, saying that with nobody around, the two of them could do basically anything they wanted. He gets thrown off by that and hurriedly shifts the conversation somewhere safer, thanking her for stepping up as vice president and admitting he never saw that coming. She asks whether that means he thought she was too unreliable for something like that. He explains that it is not about trust, only that leadership never seemed like something she would normally volunteer for. Minami admits that he is right, then reveals the real reason she wanted the position in the first place. She chose it because it would let her stay by his side. Tsubasa tries to pass it off like she is teasing him again, but Minami closes the distance between them and makes it obvious she means every word. Before the mood can turn into anything bigger, Misa walks in, thanks them for helping out, and takes the papers off their hands. On the way home, Tsubasa can tell Minami is not acting the same as usual. After walking in silence for a bit, she suddenly brings up Golden Week and tells him to leave one whole day completely open because there is something important she plans to tell him then. Once they split up, that serious look on her face stays stuck in his head, and he keeps wondering what she is planning to say. A few mornings later, Minami is up before sunrise, carefully getting ready and putting extra effort into every detail of her appearance to look hot. Around that same time, Tsubasa reaches the meeting place she chose and waits by the station, unable to calm the tension in his chest over what this day might mean for the two of them. Soon after, Mai drops Minami off, reminds her to call if anything happens, tells her she looks amazing, and heads off. The second Minami finds him, she says sorry for making him come so early. Tsubasa tells her it is no big deal and admits he was too worked up to stay in bed anyway. He asks whether they still have far to go, but she refuses to spoil the plan and only says the trip is a long one. When he reacts to that, she laughs it off and says the ride will feel short if they keep chatting. Instead, only a little while later, she nods off beside him. Seeing her asleep brings back the memory of that earlier visit to her house when she passed out during their movie. He turns away and watches the scenery drift by, realizing more and more that nearly every important moment he has had since moving here somehow connects back to her. When Minami opens her eyes again, the sunlight catches her in a way that completely throws him off. Without meaning to, he blurts out how gorgeous she looks. Her face brightens instantly, and that is when he realizes the words actually left his mouth. He fumbles an apology, but she brushes it aside like it was the best thing she could have heard. After they get off, she explains they still need to take a bus before reaching the real destination, though she wants to stop somewhere first. They borrow bicycles, and Minami takes off through town with excited energy while Tsubasa pedals after her. Along the way, they stop at a little shop and buy hot buns filled with sweet bean paste. While they eat, Minami keeps staring at him. He checks if food got stuck on his face, but she says no. She just likes the look he gets whenever something tastes good. That sends him into instant embarrassment, and he turns away. She protests and asks him to face her again because she wants to keep seeing that expression. He fires back by saying meals feel better whenever she is around. That catches her off guard, but only for a second, and then she casually says maybe she should start feeding him herself. Afterward, they wander into a store where Minami asks him which of two hair clips suits her better. Once he makes his choice, she runs off to buy it, while he gets distracted by a bracelet in a deep red color. Later, she suddenly covers his eyes and leads him somewhere without letting him see a thing. With her body so close behind him, he can barely think straight. Then she uncovers his view, and a sea of cherry blossoms spreads out before him. The sight hits him so hard that he cannot speak. Minami explains that she brought him there because she remembered him once, saying he wanted to see Sakura at full bloom. When she notices him turning away, she thinks maybe she overdid it and asks whether he wants to go somewhere else. But he wipes at his eyes and tells her he never thought he would get to see something that stunning here. That answer makes her happier than ever. She pulls him farther into the park so they can keep walking, take photos, and reach the highest viewpoint. As they stand there, taking it all in, Minami says she visited this place once years ago with her family. But at the time, she did not understand what made it special. Now, it feels completely different. Tsubasa starts wondering aloud how the two of them might look back on this same place years later, joking about how different they might seem by then. Nearby, an older couple is already taking photos, so Minami goes over and asks them to capture a picture of the two of them together. After fumbling through a few awkward tries, they finally get one picture they both like. Not long after that, Minami notices a shrine nearby, and the two of them head up to check it out. She explains that local women often come there to pray for children, which instantly throws Tsubasa off. Seeing him react like that only makes her grin harder, and she jokes that the two of them should come back years later. He does not get what she means at first, so she explains that taking another photo in the exact same place someday would make for a perfect memory. Tsubasa agrees, and that idea makes him quietly wonder whether staying close over the years could turn what they have into something more. Somewhere else, Rena wraps up a short study session and glances over at the stuffed toy Tsubasa won for her. Just looking at it makes her drift into thoughts about him. She spends some time playing with her dog until a knock at the door breaks the moment. A neighbor hands her a bulletin, and she decides to use that as an excuse to stop by Tsubasa's place. But when she gets there, a man named Ozora answers and tells her Tsubasa is out. Back at the park, Minami notices people driving go-karts and remembers that Tsubasa has never done that before. After grabbing a few snacks, first, she jumps into it with full confidence, while he ends up driving like someone trying not to crash every second. From there, they keep moving from one activity to another, making the most of the day, and eventually finish with ice cream. While Minami is happily talking about how good it tastes, Tsubasa takes a picture of her and gets caught off guard by how great she looks in that moment. When she asks to see it, he sends it over and then realizes she has already made their earlier photo her profile picture for everyone to see. His thoughts instantly start spiraling, though he tells himself she is probably just messing with him. Then, after building up enough nerve, he pulls out the gift he had been carrying the whole time, the red bracelet he picked earlier. He tells her he thought it would suit her, and Minami responds by asking him to put it on her himself. As he carefully fastens it around her wrist, the two of them end up staring at each other in silence for a few seconds. Before he can say anything, she quietly asks what other people would think if they saw them together. He wants to say they would obviously look like a couple, but he panics and instead says people would probably just see them as really close friends. The second the words leave his mouth, he can tell he messed up. Her smile weakens, and he gets angry at himself for backing down when the girl he loves is standing right in front of him. He finally decides he is going to tell her how he feels. But before he can do it, Minami drops the truth on him. She is leaving Hokkaido in 1 week to study abroad. The news hits him hard. She explains that meeting him gave her the courage to seriously go after her dream, and that she had been trying to find the right time to tell him. As she thanks him again, he suddenly pulls her into an embrace. She tries to keep herself from crying while being held like that, but then she notices tears running down his face and freezes. A worker soon comes over to tell them the place is about to close. The two of them rush off, hoping to catch the last bus, but before they can get there, a staff member tells them service is already done for the day. Minami checks her phone and says there should still be one left, but the worker explains she was looking at the weekday schedule, not the weekend one. With no way back, Minami tries calling Mai while Tsubasa phones his father to explain everything. After hearing how far away they are, Ozora comes up with a surprising solution that leaves Tsubasa speechless. Tsubasa then tells Minami that his dad can pay for them to stay at a hotel owned by someone he knows.
Oh my god!
She is startled too, but after a moment, she agrees to stay the night with him. When they get back to the hotel, Minami jokes that this must be the closest thing she will ever have to the sleepover everyone once talked about. Tsubasa checks the time and says they should hurry out for dinner before all the nearby places stop serving. They go downstairs and eat way more than usual, partly because his dad is the one paying. Afterward, back in the room, Minami says she wants to use the bath first. As soon as she goes in, Tsubasa becomes painfully aware that he is alone with her for the night. He tries to keep his mind under control by turning on the TV, but the first thing that catches his eye is a feature on the Blossom Park they visited earlier. That instantly brings him back to the fact that she will be gone in only a few days, and the thought wears him down enough that he falls asleep before she comes out. When Minami returns, she finds him out cold. She kneels by his side, watches him quietly for a moment, presses a tiny kiss onto him, leaves behind a note, and slips out with her bag. A few days later, Sayuri is at a cafe wondering why Tsubasa still has not shown up online to play games. While she is there, Asuka appears with Hina. Asuka tries to drag Sayuri to karaoke, but Sayuri rejects the idea immediately since it has nothing to do with gaming. Hina jokes that maybe she already has someone else she would rather spend time with, and Asuka starts teasing her too. Before Sayuri can answer, Minami walks in carrying luggage. Elsewhere, Rena stops by Tsubasa's house with extra dumplings, only for Ozora to tell her that Tsubasa has barely come out of his room since returning from the trip. Back at the cafe, Minami tells Sayuri what happened and confirms that she really is leaving Hokkaido. Sayuri is stunned, because Minami always seemed so attached to the life she had there. Minami explains that spending time with everyone made her realize they all have dreams they are seriously moving toward. She admits she mostly spent her life chasing whatever felt exciting in the moment, but now she wants to study makeup properly and become someone she can genuinely respect. Then she notices Mai waiting on the other side of the street and says it is time for her to go. Sayuri offers to walk with her, but Minami tells her to stay and enjoy the company she has. So Sayuri says goodbye, then messages Tsubasa to tell him Minami is on her way to the airport. Right after that, she does something she normally never would and agrees to go sing with Asuka and Hina. Meanwhile, Tsubasa is still shut in, replaying the moment he woke up in the hotel and found Minami's apology note. He takes it as proof that she does not feel the same way, but even through all of that, one feeling will not go away. He still wants to see her before she leaves. Then the hairpin falls out of his bag, and that is finally enough to get him moving. He runs to Ozora and begs him to drive him to the airport. Ozora says no at first because of work, but the second Tsubasa says there is someone he absolutely has to see. His father drops everything and takes him there. At the terminal, Mai tries to keep Minami cheerful by talking about future shopping plans, but Minami keeps checking her phone and seeing nothing. Then boarding gets announced. Mai steps away to the restroom, and Minami slowly starts toward the gate, fully convinced Tsubasa is not coming. Then she hears him call out to her. He runs up and gives her back the hairpin. She thanks him, but asks whether that is really all he came to say. Faced with that, he finally lets everything out. He tells her that meeting her changed his whole life, that she made Hokkaido feel warm instead of frightening, and that the place only became special because she was there with him. He says the time they shared will always matter to him, and that he is willing to wait no matter how long it takes until they meet again. Then Minami reveals that the course is only 2 weeks long. What? The moment he hears that, all the weight and drama inside him instantly collapse into embarrassment. She explains that even if it is short, it still feels huge to her because she has never spent that long away from Hokkaido before. She promises to return brighter, stronger, and with plenty to tell him. Then she leaves, and he stays behind watching her plane lift into the sky, the red bracelet still around his wrist. 2 weeks later, Sayuri invites Tsubasa to a gaming event. She notices he brought fried chicken instead of his usual lunch and questions it, but he avoids explaining and takes his seat just as Misa starts attendance. Then the classroom door opens and Minami walks in. Everyone immediately welcomes her back. Tsubasa offers her some of his chicken. She happily takes a bite, and then feeds one back to him. Misa quickly tells them to cut out the flirting in class, but once she is gone, the two just look at each other, relieved and happy to be together again. Tsubasa is planning how to lose V-Card as soon as possible. And that's for today's video. Guys, watch the following video, and I will catch you in the next one.